Hey, what's up everybody? Joshua Casper back at you with Plugin Boutique, and welcome to the third video on the brand new Damage 2 from Heavyocity. This is a kontakt instrument for cinematic percussion that is out of this world, weighing in at 60 gigabytes, over 41,000 samples, from 1,596 sources, 208 snapshot presets, and divided up into 3 instruments: the Ensemble Designer, the Kit Designer, and the Loop Designer. As this is the third video, we'll be checking out the Loop Designer. If you're interested in checking out the other videos, there'll be links in the video description as always. So this is the Loop Designer right here, and if you're familiar with Novo or Forzo, they all have a very similar thing going on. We have a number of presets up here at the top. You can see here straight, timed, we've got tons of them in here, from all-star loops to organic, hybrid, and damaged, and then triplets of those same types of sounds but in triplet time format. And this is what they kind of sound like. Okay, so that's the Manhattan car chase, but if I come in here, all-star loops, let's do modern mystery. Okay, so that's obviously just a taste of the many, many presets inside of here. So what is the Loop Designer? The Loop Designer is a loop playback machine. The idea here is we can layer up to 3 different loops from 3 different categories or the same category, and we'll get into that in a minute. And then we can play all 3 of those loops by pressing one key. So right now I'm pressing C1 on my keyboard. And you can see here that it's playing C2, C3, and C4 samples, and the samples I have loaded into those positions. And a cool addition to this, which I don't remember in Novo or Forzo, is it will actually show you if audio is coming out of it with a glowing light, which I think is very, very helpful. What we can do here is this is the preset as the Heavyocity team has programmed, but I can easily switch this one, and this one, and this one, and press C1 on my keyboard again. And we'll get something new. I'm gonna go ahead and change up the library. Tribal Warfare seems about right when we're talking about Damage 2. Oh yeah, so cool. So that's what the Loop Designer essentially is. You can play up to 3 different samples at one time by using one key on your keyboard. Now, some additions to Damage 2 which aren't available in Forzo and Novo are the stuttering effects, and also the transitions. So some really, really gnarly kind of impacts over there. We do have control here over the volume, panning, tuning, and send amount, which sends it to the send effects, and we're gonna get into that in a minute. And these are on a per channel basis. So for example, C3, if I pan C3 and then go to D3, you'll see that the panning hasn't changed. So these parameters are on a per key or per sample basis. If we go to source, this is actually where we can pick the sources for the keys. And if I press C3, I'll see C3 through B3. And if I want to load something up, I can just click, drag, and drop it. And that's as simple as it is. And if I want to go down here, I can either use my mouse to click it, and you'll see now it's C2 to B2, or I can just click that on my keyboard and it will automatically jump to that position as well. A couple other notes here. We have all of these categories: damaged straight, damaged triplet, hybrid straight, hybrid triplet, organic straight, organic triplet, transitions, and hits. And then the auto button is if I'm cycling through here, we'll get these helpful descriptions to go along with the names. But if I turn on auto, it will automatically preview it for me. You can also go to the bank right here where you can see the different damaged sections. So we have a category and then banks and then loops inside of those banks. So we have damaged full 1, 2, and 3, and then just the lows 1, 2, and 3, and then the mids and the highs as well. When you're inside of the loops, you can even do filter. You could filter more by going over here and choosing what you want to do. Favorites, you favorite anything just by clicking that dot next to the name. And then if you go to the favorite menu, or if you come to here and filter to favorites, you'll see that one come up. Very, very cool, very straightforward, very powerful. Then we jump over to send effects, and these are up to 4 effects you can use. We have timbral and spatial effects, and they're click, drag, and drop. So right now I've got reverb right here, but maybe I want a plate reverb instead. Simply click, drag, and drop it, and it will automatically update over there. And maybe I want my distortion to come after my compression, click, drag, and drop it over there as well. So not only can we choose whatever amount of effects we want here, but we can also choose the order in which they process the audio that comes in. And each one of these, when you click on it, will have 4 different parameters at your disposal to control. You can also modulate this sound. So if I open up the modulator, and let's put it something like this just so we can really hear it. Okay, so let's come down to one of the designer keys. So let's really come into distortion and really drive it up just so you can kind of hear what's going on. So as you can see there, these effects are coming into play at varying degrees depending on your step sequencer right here. You've got your very standard step sequencer controls over here: retrigger, legato, one shot, or how many steps, up to 64, and then your rate control as well. That's one way to add effects, but there's also the master effects page, which is exactly the same in the other two, the kit designer and the ensemble designer. I went over this kind of in more detail in the ensemble designer video, so check that out if you want to know more. But what we have here is Heavyocity's, kind of brainchild, the punish knob, which is a multi-effect that sounds absolutely fantastic. And they've given it an update here because now you have 3 different flavors of processing. You got gentle, hurt me plenty, and then nightmare. So these will just get really distorted as we push them. Gently now really is my favorite. But we can go hurt me plenty, and then nightmare. So obviously that's really, really distorted, and I'm pushing it way harder than I ever would in real life, but I wanted to really let you hear the differences there. The punish knob, use at your own risk. It does really add a ton when you do it right, and the fact that we now have 3 different processing levels is just amazing. Beyond that, we have all of these processors. These are going to be on the master output. We have a filter, an EQ, a compressor, a saturator, a delay, and a reverb. We can turn them on or turn them off. We can also reorder them just like we can in the send effects page. And when you click on any one of them, you'll get the parameters at your disposal down here at the bottom. So that's a quick intro to the Loop Designer. It is incredibly powerful for sketching out ideas very quickly that sound absolutely phenomenal. Let's check out a few more of these presets. Let's come into something like organic. They just sound so powerful, right? Let's come into hybrid. And finally, let's just check out a few of these damaged ones. These things get really, really crushed. Let's go to breakout 3. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, that is so dope. Okay, so the video is getting quite long. I only meant for this to be an overview of the interface itself, but obviously, you know, the sky's the limit with these. It's a lot of fun. This is insane to me. That is so dope. I'm probably gonna end up using that somewhere. But anyway, that wraps up the third video on the Damage 2 series. Make sure to watch them all, and obviously click the link in the video description to find out full details about this massive Kontakt library from Heavyocity. So I'm Joshua Casper. I hope you learned something, and I'll see you in the next video.